No society wants you to become wise. It is against the investment of all societies.
Good morning, what? Yeah. Well, it's Monday and I already can't talk. What's up, guys? So I thought of something again over the weekend. I've been putting a lot of thought into it. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and I realized. Well, I mean, I'm not the first to realize it, but for me, I realized it with emotional impact that perspective is everything. So, personally, I found that the best way to develop yourself positively in like the way you want to go, whenever you close your eyes and see yourself as this person that you want to be, like perspective for me, I've realized is a very, very important step before you get there. So, what goes along with that is humility. Humility, being humble enough to have perspective in the first place, because it's kind of hard to have perspective, and I know this because I'm a hothead and I lose my temper really easily. So over the weekend I realized one of the easiest ways for me to check my anger is when I see someone else getting angry, I stop, and what I'm starting to practice with myself is, instead of just saying, oh, they're just being stupid and unreasonable and they're just angry or whatever, they're just ticked off or they're just being wuss or whatever. Instead of saying all that stuff, I'm forcing myself to stop and say, do I act like that when I get angry? Like, how do I act when I get angry? And I like start looking at the similarities, and I'm just like staring at him, just watching him like, oh, interesting. Very nice. So, but just watching how people act when they're angry, and then asking myself, what do I do when I get angry too? Do I do the same thing when I'm angry? And over this weekend, I've realized there are a lot of similarities, and I'm like, holy crap, that's what I look like when I get angry. And that's when I realized that's perspective. Like, that's one of the biggest ways to get personal growth, I realize, because I just gained perspective. It's kind of weird. It's like enlightening, honestly. It's like there's like a switch that turns on in your head, and you're like, holy crap, like this is what perspective feels like. You see it and you realize, like, holy crap, that's what I look like. And it gives you more of a, it like makes it stronger the next time you get angry. You're like, okay, remember the perspective that you had last time that you went through this. So, yeah, but humility, that seriously is like a big part of it, because usually I take the high road when someone's getting angry or whatever. They get, lose their, I mean, we're emotional creatures, we're not logical. So when someone loses control of their emotions or whatever, it's easy to take the high road and be like, oh, well, I never do that, or, well, they're just being, this and that and the other. First of all, it's, you really don't know where people are. I hear that a lot from my dad. He says that a lot, which is true. So you can't assume where people are. You can't assume that you know everything, which is a really dangerous road to go down. And I've done that plenty of times. I'm still working on that. So humility was the first step for me to be able to attain perspective. It's when you stop yourself, instead of taking the high road, you say, okay, let's go ahead and assess the situation and see the similarities between my behaviors when I feel the same sort of emotions, and let's see if I can devise a plan to, stop myself before I get angry and start, just, and it's another weird thing I realize. Whenever I get angry, I stop breathing, and it makes it worse and worse, which is weird. I wonder if it's like a physiological thing. That's just me. I don't know. Comment if it's the same thing for you, because I thought it was really interesting. Like, I stop and I realize, like, I'm not breathing right now, and it makes me more and more angry, because my heart rate, it like starts making my heart rate go up, which is really weird. But like, I've been starting to like force myself to like start breathing. Like, whenever I get angry, it's like, whoa. I don't know. It's just a really weird thing that I found. I just stopped breathing. It's just really weird to me. Anyways, well, I'm glad I found it, though. So, humility, guys, is really important for learning anything. Because even through the process of learning something new, it's easy to take the high road and be like, well, I'm learning and you're not, and you're way down here and all that stuff. I mean, I forget who said it. I'm thinking it's Thomas Jefferson, but I'm not sure. But he says, or maybe it was Ben Franklin. It was one of those really smart guys. And he said, I am superior to no man in that I learn of him. Which is really important, because once you realize that, and this is what Ben Franklin said as well, he says, I will, oh God, what is it? It's from the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Really good book. Definitely got to read it. Ben Franklin said, what did he say? I will speak ill of no man, and I will speak all the good I can think of every man, which is awesome. And like, when I read that, I was like, holy crap, that's hard. Because I have a really hard time. I can get very, very critical sometimes, and I can become like extremely critical. Like I don't know what it is. When you're inside your head and you think a lot, you start observing things more instead of just talking more. If you're not a talker, you're a thinker, and if you start looking at the way people behave and stuff like that, you can use the way they behave to your advantage and start like beating them down, which is kind of evil, but that's like sadly one of my like skills I have. So I try not to use it as much as I can. I just try to internalize it, but even then it's easy. I mean, if you internalize it, it still takes its toll on your heart or whatever. It takes its toll on however you think whenever you start thinking negatively, people like that. So I'm trying to rewire my brain that way to stop internalizing it or externalizing it and just like let it go, you know. So anyways, that's a little aside I got there. So, but you know, just seeing the good in people, and definitely don't take the high road and get off a high horse. And these are things I'm absolutely not like sitting here preaching people. The only reason I make these videos is pretty much for my voice to say the things that I need to work on, so that my brain hears it, so that people can keep me in check too when they see I'm doing it wrong. So this is kind of just a way for me to, I don't know, hopefully influence people to do the same thing. Try to like get people around them to help them develop, because you know it takes a village to raise a child, you know, and it takes like a whole community to help maintain an adult into, you know, becoming mature or whatever. So, but those are some thoughts I had. I hope you like them, because there are lots of them that go on in my head. I'll keep you guys posted. Most likely every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I'll come up with ideas that I think of, you know. So I hope you like this. I love you all, and I'll see you later.